Happy Monday. Little bit of a heavy topic right away on Monday, but we're gonna just roll with it. In over the last handful of months, I have seen so much more stress, number one, as the umbrella, but much more anxiety, panic attacks, the feeling of not feeling safe or being just really scared, unsettled, and what for whatever is going on in someone's life. If your job is all over the place, if you had to homeschool your kids and now you're taking care of them because there's no daycare, if your relationships are struggling, whatever it is, I'm going to talk about anxiety today a little bit, just for a few snippets. If ever you've been in my office to be adjusted by me, I talk about awareness a lot, because without awareness, we are disconnected. And the longer we're disconnected, the less aware we are. And the less we have any idea of how we're thinking, and then how that affects what our body is trying to tell us. In any workshop, I start with a grounding, visualization, breathing, meditation to help get aware, connected, and like step back into your body. So through adjustments and through all the years of doing this, I watch the evolution of people go from a very stressed state, not feeling safe in their life. And I don't mean abuse safe, I just mean the brain is always seeing stress or fear, or hyper vigilant brain is always on guard, always looking to protect. That is going to wear down on your nervous system and your brain and your body, and eventually it's going to get to be too much and your body starts to break down. So I wanted to share two nonverbal things. That's not the right word, but two nonverbals that you may not even notice that you're doing. And most of us it starts to create a habit, right? Because one of my previous videos, I talked about how you think is only 5% of your brain. Everything else is subconscious. It's been programmed. It's been patterned. So naturally, if your brain and body start to feel like it's not safe, and we're in a hyperprotective state, that is subconscious training. That's why chiropractic is effective, because it changes the brain. It changes the spine and the brain so that the subconscious patterns can change. But anyway, two things. If you find yourself scowling like this, whether it's in relation to somebody, if it's just sitting at your desk, if you notice when you're at rest watching TV or on your phone, you're like, that like, scowl. And another nonverbal is like this. Think of those as, especially this lip one, as wanting to speak but not feeling safe to speak. So let's just say you're at a meeting and you know that there's a certain topic that comes up and it is frustrating, or it creates stress, or your belly starts to turn and your heart starts to beat fast and you're like, I should probably bite my tongue. That kind of feeling. That's the awareness, bring back the awareness to things being really uncomfortable. And if you are catching yourself doing that, you know that that's one of the signs of anxiety. I'm not here to say you have anxiety, because I could give a crap less what the name of it is. But when we start to have nonverbals that start to affect or represent how we're feeling, we know that's nervous system function. That's controlled by that. Anxiety is that feeling that it isn't going to be okay, that there's a bigger fear, and most of the time you're not maybe even able to consciously state what it is. If you could start to move through it. But it's the hypervigilant brain. It's the brain that's always on fire. And that pressure to think that, God, if I just like calm down and relax and don't worry about my surroundings right now, or don't worry about this and this and this, then everything will fall apart. Like that's that entrainment in the brain of how anxiety starts to show up in your life. So just a few nonverbal tips. I thought it was cool, mostly help bring awareness to you If you are noticing in this, if you are noticing that your kids are really struggling with anxiety, it may come out in a little bit OCD. So that child needs to know everything that you're going to do today. And if one little thing is involved that you didn't communicate properly, she loses it. It's too much for her to handle, because it's like the brain is like this big funnel. Okay. So everything that you see, feel, hear, smell comes into this funnel, and it has to pass down the spinal cord that is just like teensy. Okay. Well, the bigger the funnel of information and the smaller the pathway, the more everything's going to get stuck. And that's when they go into anxiety or sensory overload or aggressive behavior. These are just some of the things that I see very frequently. Chronic pain. That's what happens when everything starts to jam up. It's like a log jam, and there is no flow in that sensory system to the rest of the body. So if you're feeling like this, reply, message, anything, even if you have a question like, wow, I've never heard this information before, because I'm not looking at what the different treatment options necessarily, like how do we take this medication to stop you from being anxious? No. How do we increase awareness of your brain and then your body to make sure that when you perceive something out into in the world, that you can process it and it doesn't create a logjam and put you out for a day, a week, a panic attack, feeling like it's just better if you're not here, feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't even sleep, not feeling worried. Those things are signs that you need to look and find somebody that can help you process the flow of life. Thanks, guys. Happy Monday.